G'day, Ben from Melbourne here, and today is my vinyl pickups for June 2025 video. It'll also be my last video before I go away on holidays. I'll be away for maybe 6 or 7 weeks, but don't fear, in the meantime there's a stack of stuff in the can that'll get published each week, because I know otherwise your eyeballs won't be massaged the way they should be, and you'll just be, pining for me while I'm gone. So I do this for you people out there. There's a stack of threads I probably should have done ages ago. Sorry, Vinyl Voyage for one, and several others which you'll see. What else? There's a Shed Burner in there. Great record. I'll let you discover that when it comes out. One which is sort of along the lines of, if you like the go-betweens, you might like these bands. There's 2 lengthy, rambling 2 Men and a Dick, but it was just me and Richie and a dummy, which we recorded a while back when Cosmic Brian was out of action for a little bit. So they may or may not have references to stuff that's already happened, or it's old news, but it's never fake news. But hopefully they'll still give you a laugh. And there might be a couple, with any luck, more of my interviewing the VC videos in there as well. So you'll have stuff to watch, but unfortunately I probably won't be able to comment back to anything you leave there, comment wise on my videos. I'll randomly be checking in, but I'm on bloody holiday. It's a holiday, gotta have a break for a while. But speaking of that, interviews with VC members, please reach out to me if you'd like to have a crack and be interviewed. It's all for a bit of fun. Let me know. We can sort it out in the comments. Contact me through there on YouTube, or I'm on Instagram. I'm also on WhatsApp, so check me out. But I would also like to thank the interview guests I've had so far, and that's a bit of a list. I didn't realize I'd already done so many, and that's Brian the Embryonic Robot, who was kind enough to be first cab off the rank. His video, he is disappointed in retrospect that it wasn't longer than the others. We'll do something in the future, mate, and we'll make it at least 3 hours long. Fitz Electric Bar, Americana Sam, Vinyl Richie, which that interview led to the 2 Men and a Dick, which has been great fun, and his little cameos in some of the other interviews, judging the Vinyl Richie impressions, which has been really funny. Romuald the French Vinyl Addict, Jack at the Vinyl Voyage, Ian Broke with Audiophile Taste, Mike Vinyl Spiral, Cosmic Brian at Cosmic Vinyl, of course, Alex at Beer and Vinyl, Russ from Rush Shore TV, Mike, who appears on the Steve Carlson channel, Blockhead George, the young fella who I recently had, and ones which are sort of in the pipelines with Harris Pilton and the mighty Maslov as well. So we'll try and get that sorted and out to you soon. So as I said, please be in contact if you want to get on, talk some shit and have a laugh. Anyway, this is about vinyl pickups for June. Rhubarbed on long enough. Let's get into some of the great Australian new reissues and secondhand. But my arm's in this weird awkward angle because I just want to have a sip of my beer. What are we drinking? Kirinichiban. That one's for Alex at Beer and Vinyl. Check him out. Good fella. Right, first up we have the new Robert Forster album, Strawberries. This one is on Tapet Records, I think that's how you say it, Tapete. Of course, one of the founding members of the mighty Go-Betweens. Fantastic stuff, I believe. Yeah, recorded in Stockholm. If you just love good singer-songwriter stuff, you'll love any of Robert Forster's records. And he just, like all those dudes, he just keeps on doing it. A little bit of information on the back there of who plays what on what song. Bit of photo action. And just the black vinyl with pretty plain kind of label. But yeah, Australian legend. Yeah, another good solid record. Love it. Love all of his stuff. His solo records are fantastic. And of course, wouldn't be another year without another Giz release. Now, this is like what they packaged them on the outside, which I kind of like how they do that to stop you using plastic sleeves, but that hasn't really worked. Here's the actual packaging. The album's called Phantom Island, and it's on their own P-Doom label. This is like called the Deluxe Gatefold Black Wax Edition. And this, if you don't know, is... Oh! Whatever. Sticker fell out, just dropped it on the floor. Deal with that later. Is the one that they recorded with strings. This was done at around the same time as when they were recording the previous record, the name which just bloody escapes me right now. Anyway, wordage on the inside, more wordage. This is quite a good record. I'm enjoying this one. Yeah, really cool. This is, I wish you could reach through the camera and feel this album cover. It's quite nice. It's got a nice texture to it. And then, well, this freaking... No, I'm not, this massive poster. I'm not pulling that apart. I'll never get it back in. Did I show you the vinyl? Probably not. I think I just showed you the wordage. Bit unorganized. There you go, just the black vinyl with a pretty black label. But yeah, cool. Can't wait to see them at the end of the year in December. They're playing like a with orchestra show and a rock show. Of course, I'm going to the rock show. If I had the clams, I'd go and see both shows. But some little band called AC/DC is coming over, and I thought, better go see them. Now, this is a great band, which I was really looking forward to this, called Clam Doublem. Released a couple of great records. Punk band, probably more in the second wave of English punk sound with, you know, bands like Wire and the Ruts and things like that. Have a bit edgy, but it's still, and got a foot in the new wave sort of sound. Great band, lots of cool hooks. For some reason, I thought this was a 12-inch single when I first knew about it, but it's a whole new full-length album, and it is on Meat Machine Records. Good name for a label. Wordage, some artage. Let's have a look. Black vinyl seems to be back in vogue, people. Pretty groovy labels, but yeah, great band. All three of their records are killer. Enjoying this a lot, but I'm not enjoying trying to get this back into the sleeve. There we go, finally got there. Whoa, hold on to your wigs, people. The new Civic album. Man, I should have got fucking points on their last record for the amount of promo I did for that. The Taken by Force record, killer record. And a few of you out there in the VC agree, because if you picked it up. And this is a great follow-up. If you love that Saints Radio Birdman sound, but with a modern twist. Just killer vocals, like really great punk rock voice. This is on ATO Records. This one was produced by Kieran J. Callahan, which the previous one was produced by Rob Younger from Radio Birdman fame. But yeah, interesting choice. Not known for his punk as much. Kieran sort of dabbles more in the electronic side. He's like a solo artist himself, which does some interesting stuff. There's the inner, some wordage. And then we've got the, did I show you the back cover? There it is. Beautiful. And this, I think, might actually be coloured vinyl. Oh, look at that. Of course, if you're going to call it chrome dip, you got to have like a chrome kind of colour for your vinyl. Nice package. So that's the new releases section. Really cool stuff. Next, reissues, and this is a reissue of first time on vinyl, I believe. It was a CD which I never owned, called Cant Stop It compilation. Like it says, Australian post-punk 78 to 82. A few bands I was already familiar with, like the Fetus, Voight 465, Essendon Airport, Primitive Calculators, Ash Wednesday. Who else is on here? People with chairs up their noses. Yeah, I think other than those, they were the main bands that I knew of before, but really cool reissue. Some of those bands were like part of the, I think they called it the Tiny Bands movement. Great package, like love the design. This is like, yeah, still sinking my teeth into this. A lot of cool information. I like how it gives you a little bit on each band and a blurb on the side overall. It's a double album, released on the M.I.A Chapter Music label, which I have a feeling is no more. We'll just get out one of the records because, you know, they're both... So it's white, but it's not... It's got like a swirly... And if you, no, you can't really see on the camera, it's got like a speckled thing just near the label. Very nice indeed. So that's Can't Stop It, Australian post-punk 1978 to 82. Cool comp. And I think a 15th anniversary is a strange date, but happy to have this on vinyl. Cloud Control with their great album Bliss release. Kind of like a pop psych record. Really, really cool. Gold Canary is probably the single off this from memory. Really cool. It's got a, when I say psych pop, it also has like a New Zealand kind of feel to it to me. On Mushroom Music Records. So yes, Mushroom is still a label of sorts. There's the great gatefold cover there. Bit of unreadable. I know it's the thank yous and the 15th year anniversary. Bit of blurbage about that. And now let's look at the vinyl. Back to black, baby. Nice cloud style label. Really cool stuff. Cloud Control Bliss release. And another compilation, this time by the band Ups and Downs. If you love your jingle jangle kind of power pop stuff, this is fantastic. Stained Glass Memories is the name of this. I got some 7-inches by the Ups and Downs, but as of yet haven't tracked down any of their full-length records, but that is definitely on my radar. This is on Zen Arcade Records, I think it is, licensed from Basket Case Records. It's quite a groovy design. Yeah, I think I've got the Perfect Crime 7-inch, and maybe Lit by the Fuse, I mean. Yeah, I think I've got those two. So let's have a look inside. So, got quite a heavy card inner here with a bit of info there. Nice packaging, as I've probably said 15 times. And oh, here we go. Beautiful blue coloured vinyl there. Groovy how both labels are different too. Ups and downs. Great 80s Australian band. Next up, a great 90s Australian band. Indie rock, kind of shoegaze influence. Wouldn't call them shoegaze, but it's a fantastic Glide, Open Up and Croon. Can't believe it's the 30th anniversary of this record. I remember seeing this band several times. Friggin' amazing. This is on Love as Fiction Records. The second track, Why You Asking, is just worth the price of admission alone, but the whole album is just absolutely fantastic if you dig your indie rock, which is influenced by the shoegaze sounds. Magnificent stuff. What do we got in here? Got a bit of a booklet actually. There's a bit of information on the back there. What's inside? Some wordage. Bit of a reading there. I think I missed. Oh no, that's it. That's pretty groovy. I think there might be. Yep, one more page. There we go. A few more groovy photos and credits and that. And then the vinyl itself. Oh, a lot of black vinyl today. It's back. There we go. Great stuff. Now we're just going to jump across the ditch to New Zealand for a moment. Well, I don't know if this really is a reissue, but it's stuff that had never been available before. This is the mighty New Zealand band, the 3Ds, sort of a late 80s, early 90s Flying Nun band, that sort of third wave, I suppose, of that great Dunedin sound. Other 3Ds from Dunedin, I can't remember, but anyway, they're all part of that amazing family of music. And this is side A is the Peel sessions that they did, and side B is the Triple J sessions, which is Australian youth broadcaster from the 90s. I was going to say something quite sarcastic, but I'll just leave it alone. So this has got just all of the classics like the Venus Trail, Hey Seuss, Man on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, Outer Space, just killer stuff, and that great 3Ds artwork. That's the back cover there. I think this is through Flying Nun. Yeah, it's got a whole bunch of shit on the back. BBC, Radio 1, Flying Nun, Triple J. But oh yeah, there you go. There's the Flying Nun catalogue number there. Inner there. Whoa, spooky. More black vinyl. But yeah, great to hear like those fantastic songs in sort of live in the studio, on radio, and BBC. Peel sessions. Just killer bands. One of the early bands I saw when I first moved down to Melbourne. Blew my wig off, and I've looked like this ever since. Next up, we've got one of Sexy Tex Perkins' projects from the 80s. He did some pretty wild shit back then, and this is by the mighty Thug with Electric Woolly Mammoth. This is the second and last record by them. Still hunting down that 7-inch as well. This is on Black Eye Records. This is not for the faint of heart, this record. It's fucking out there, but it's great. Yeah, really good stuff. If you like weird stuff in the vein of, Lubricated Goat and, I don't know, just that weird Australian shit that's out there, man. So on the great Black Eye label there. Cool label. Yeah, I like this kind of stuff. It's just nuts. Really cool. this will give you a good idea with the song names of well, it's out there, but it's also got a pretty juvenile sense of humour. So you've got songs with names like Idiot, Bumlout, Childish Behaviour, Dickhead, Useless, Guitar Solo in a Rainforest. Yeah, that might give you a bit of an idea of what you're in for with Thug and Electric Woolly Mammoth. Next up, a couple from Fetus, Jim Thirlwell's project. He's been in the US for so long that on my Two Men and a Dick vid, they actually believed he was from New York, but he's originally from Australia. He's from Melbourne, right here, actually. So this is Fetus over Frisco, which I think is the 12-inch EP. Just awesome stuff. Lots of like samples and sound collages to wild beats, and really cool. So this comes with, still got the great inner there, and the record itself. So this is on Self-Immolation Records. Beautiful. And then the other Fetus one I got, like we just go with Fetus because they just change their name all the time. This one, they were called themselves Fetus over Frisco. Sorry, did I say it was called Custom Built for Capitalism? Anyway, that's the name of the record. And this one, they call themselves Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel. As you can tell, the Fetus bit is always in there. And this record's called Whole. This is, I think, maybe their third record. All you people who dig that shit. Whoa, Japanese over. Woo! Isn't that incredible? Back cover. This is also, what's this one on? Bizarre. No, this is Self-Immolation Records as well. This one's got a inner with it as well. It's got all of the wordage, all that business. Whole lot of Japanese characters there, which I can't decipher. I could rely on my wife for that stuff. And then just your labels here. Good stuff. Like, just in your face samples of, like, propaganda and communist shit. Some people get a little bit of a twist in their knickers about stuff like that, but fuck it, I say. Now for three special ones. I got a 1977, I think. No, 78 version of Radio's Appear. And the sticker on here is the one to tell you that this is like the Australian edition of the overseas version of Radio's Appear. So if this is the overseas one, it's got Aloha Stephen Dano. But they did like a Trafalgar release this version as well, just to confuse the hell out of everyone over here at the time. So there were concurrently like two versions of this record when it came out. You probably know the other cover, which has got like the photo of them where that's just straight across there. And yeah, but anyway, it's fucking Radio Birdman. It's all awesome. So amazed that I found this bad boy. So yeah, this has got Aloha Stephen Dano, as I said, Murder City Nights, Descent into Maelstrom, Man with the Golden Helmet, Do the Pop, New Race. What a record. And so here we are on the Trafalgar. See, it's got the little kangaroo on the left there to indicate it's the Australian version of this record. Just amazing band. What can you say other than they're pretty damn good? Now, this is big, man. Now, I've had like other editions of this, Australian Albert's versions of AC/DC's Highway to Hell with the proper cover, in my opinion, the way it should look. Here we go. And what makes this one special, not only because it's a fucking great record, I don't have to tell you anything about AC/DC, but this, I think, is the second press. So I think you can see, yeah, because this is like the blue Albert's label, so it's Australian one, with those, the gold teeth or whatever you want to call around there. So the reason why it's a second press is it's a blue label, and it doesn't have like what they call the blue-roo. There'd be a picture of a kangaroo on there. But man, the sound of this compared to like any of the reissues, this just smokes it, man. It's just got a rawness and a toughness that the others, like, I wish when they had that reissue campaign, they reissued the Albert's versions and someone went back to the, the tapes are out there and just fucking gave us good analog smoking versions of AC/DC. But AC/DC don't give a fuck because they know they're going to sell them anyway. So you reckon that's good? Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Yes, the best cover. There's the boys on the back. And this one, if you're standing, you might want to sit down. Blue label, original press with that blue-roo, baby. Fuck yeah. This, again, it just punches its way out of the speakers. I could not believe I found one in such good condition. Because, 70s AC/DC records are like party records, so a lot of them are like just trashed if you can find original ones on the Albert's label. Just so good. You know the songs. Like, this is probably different for you Yanks because you didn't get it until the 80s, and that was kind of like a compilation. And yeah, so I don't think the one, like, this has got, like, the original's got Dirty Deeds, obviously, Done Dirt Cheap. Ain't No Fun, Waiting Around to Be a Millionaire. There's going to be some rockin', Problem Child, Squealer, Big Balls. Very subtle Australian humour there. I like the bit where he goes, well, I've got big balls, and she's got big balls, and he's got big balls, but we've got the biggest balls of them all. Obviously, that song's about ballroom dancing. R.I.P., Rock in Peace, Ride On. AC/DC never did a song like that before or after. Showed they could have had a career in great, smoky, slow, bluesy songs. And then it ends with the mighty Jailbreak. Amazing. So happy to get that. And then at the opposite end of the spectrum, we're back with the mad sounds in the ilk of Thug that we saw before with the great compilation Leather Donut. So yeah, this has got Thug on it. If you ever look at the back cover there, I wonder what that guy's doing. And the front cover, it just tells you all you need to know. On Black Eye Records, which is like the part of Red Eye, which just was the crazy shit, I suppose. So yeah, this has got Thug on it. It's got, I think it's got, Salamander Jim, which was another one of Texas bands doing wild shit. And I'm sure it's got, who else is on here? Martin Bland, of course, from Lubricated Goat. Yeah, all of the classics of the weird music that we produced in the 80s. I just love this shit. Now all I got to do is find the first of these two Black Eye compilations called Sausage Waste or Wasted Sausage. I can't remember. So once I get them, I'll be a very happy boy. But I don't know. Obviously, this is definitely not to everyone's taste because it's out there. Some people could find it incredibly offensive because by today's standards, for sure. Last one. This has ended up a long video, sorry, but it's my last one before I go on holiday, so please indulge me. I found an original copy of our mates over the ditch in New Zealand of the Bats EP by night on Flying Nun, I think, yes. Just love the Bats, of course. Robert Scott was in the original lineup of the Clean, and then when they broke up for the first time, he went on and formed the Bats, which has been an ongoing band for many years, released so much good stuff. Not as clattery and bang wallop as the Clean were initially, a bit more melodic, spooky, kind of more like a more indie version of the Chills, I suppose. Anyway, that's all I got, and I'll see you. Well, I'll see you in the next one, but it's pre-recorded, so I'll see you in many weeks' time. Peace out.